Even though the past is frozen here, the clock moves forward.
Sollen wir mitgehen nach Frankreich? Viel Arbeit. Da sind wir frei. Ja, der Stil. Durchblick vom Salon. September 1996. Leben wir vor Carriage.
This is the story of a Swiss musician with a lifelong dream of owning his very own castle one day. And in 1996 that dream became a reality when Mr. Graf purchased a magnificent castle in France and moved in with his family. However, that dream of grandeur is now left to time's slow touch. Back then, the Swiss visionary had great plans to create a park with horses, a carriage museum, and carriage rides across the sprawling 22-acre estate. But now, the castle, once the crown of this countryside park, stands isolated and abandoned. Today we invite you to explore this rich piece of French cultural heritage with us, adorned with elaborate decor and still filled with all its antique treasures. Prepare yourself for an immersive journey back in time. It's that time of the week again, and today we have a wonderful piece of French architectural heritage now withering away, left in a state of desolation to show you. We are exploring a chateau in France, and we've already tried getting inside the chateau 2 years ago. It wasn't possible, and yet luckily, the door that was locked back then was just opened. People have been going here for the past months. The owner just doesn't care. But anyways, let's tell you the history of the chateau. Built in the year 1860. And right now, it's just left like this. It's very hard to believe. The last owner actually passed away in 1963. And after that it got bought by a Swiss owner, and eventually he didn't have enough money to maintain the upkeep, so the castle ended up decaying more and more in time, and now it's just beyond repair. The roof completely damaged, rainwater coming in, the castle is decaying more and more in time. It's so sad. And the Swiss owner has been trying to sell this property for the past decades, wasn't successful in his endeavors, and eventually it just remained like this. As you can tell, I'm standing in a wonderful hallway. This is just a little glimpse of what you're about to see, because we're gonna warp right now to where it all started when we entered the basement.
Well, so this is our entrance.
And it's not just any type of basement. They literally had a dining table over here with chairs all poised around it.
Yeah. This was really like, I would almost say, a hangout area.
In fact, like 2 years ago, we managed to enter this part, but not the part that's linked to the upstairs. And there was also like this mannequin standing here, but it's gone for some reason.
Okay.
Maybe they replaced it somewhere else. Maybe it's stolen. I don't know.
Sad to see.
Well, there was just cutlery inside.
Yeah, as you can tell, cutlery right over here.
You can tell the owner doesn't really care. Like, he tried to close it up a little bit, but he's not doing anything like professionally.
No.
So it's almost inevitable that curious explorers also like us come inside and explore this place. And this is what we found the last time too. and it's actually a food elevator. And we actually considered maybe climbing through the food elevator to get up. But if you can show it, it's quite high. So eventually we decided to just leave it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's quite difficult.
It's not an easy task.
Should it actually still... Ah, it's completely stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very old one.
Alright, you know what?
Completely defunct.
I'm just gonna close up this door. Just leave it.
Well, then let's continue with this beautiful cabinet over here. We also still have a frame of maybe an old knight or something, or at least a noble person playing the flute.
Yeah. No, some jars in there.
All said, it's just all standing open. It's really so neglected.
Yeah.
And probably right now you think, okay, well, this neglected, okay. But if you're about to see the other rooms, there is so much history, antiques. It's very sad that nobody really takes proper care of it.
I mean, this is a proper historical castle, like Moreno was saying. Well, some other storage. It's nice clock.
Yeah, very antique clock. Wonderful.
Wonderful details as well.
Yeah. And over there is one of the parts of the tower.
Oh, alright. Gonna have a look. Well, the towers are in a very bad condition. As you can tell over here, ceiling is already gone. A little bit, but
yeah,
believe me, when we say very bad condition, we really mean a very bad condition.
Still a bicycle standing right over here.
Yeah.
Very rusty one. And also you can see the old stone fireplace. Used to make soup, probably hang kettles as well.
Yep, as you can tell, tools over there in the back as well.
And also on top of the fireplace mantle, still the kettles and other items that they used.
Yeah.
Even over here, the pans, the burning wood, and the bellows are still hanging right over here.
Just right where they need it.
Exactly.
To cook some great meals.
Oh, it's sad to see that this embroidered frame is actually damaged. But there is so much more to this lower level of the castle than meets the eye. Like many French chateaux, this space, known as the sous-sol, was dedicated to the heartbeat of the estates. It's where the kitchens bustled and pantries were stocked, the floor where the lower ranking staff used to work. As we step into the first corridor, we find wonderful relics of the past, including this old wooden cart. Between all the artisanal tools that once served the castle, there was even this magnificent antique press. But the sous-sol holds more than just history. Some sections of this level are directly connected to the outside world, creating a mysterious blend of nature and architecture. And here they are, the eerie mannequins I mentioned earlier, standing sentinel in the shadows. These open connections to the elements have also allowed nature to creep in. Birds have even found shelter here, turning this derelict castle into a surprising refuge. As we explore further, we uncover more of the chateau's secrets, like hidden storage spaces for wine, aged to perfection in the cool, dark corners. And amidst it all, a beautiful wicker chair sits quietly, a reminder that even in the most unexpected places, beauty finds a way to endure. Okay, this is the part where we couldn't access the last time. This door was locked, and the other door respectively too. So I'm actually very happy that we get to see you right now. As you can tell, there is plenty of wood storage in this part.
Yeah.
But this space wasn't just for wood storage. There is more hidden here. Tucked away in one of the turrets on this level are the remains of an old toilet. Yes, even the most practical necessities found their place within these stone walls, and this one could be accessed directly from the storage area by the servants. It was just so exciting to finally make it to this part that was not accessible the last time, and now finally we get to witness it, you get to witness it too. And yeah, we're just beyond excited to show you this historical marvel. Windows are smashed, windows coming in on this floor as well. This is actually a religious thing. It says, Jesus, he said, I am the resurrection of life. So you can tell that religious faith was also an important topic for them. You know what's cool? This turret, just show it to them. It leads right into
a ballroom.
A toilet. Genius. Imagine just doing your thing over here in the turret. That's amazing.
Now I wouldn't trust it anymore. Like, it doesn't seem safe at all.
No, the turrets are in a very bad condition.
Damn. Look at this toilet paper. That looks repulsive, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't zoom in on too much repulsive details, because there's going to be plenty of details in here that are not very pleasant for the eye. Well, if we continue through this passage, we actually come inside a kitchen area. And yeah, it still has everything. As you can tell, the little details over here, I really like this mug with the face. Looks a little bit like Mario.
Yeah, really does.
Still full of food products. Now, rumors go that the Swiss owner sometimes still comes here in the summer and sleeps inside. So I'm wondering if he maybe buys some products with a long expiration date and then still maybe consumes them.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows, like, I don't know, man. It could be. Well, we can have a look over here at this tux. Yeah, he does.
You see? Can you imagine just leaving your food here in this dirty kitchen and then just returning after like 6 months like, oh yeah, I still had these, I'll just eat them. Strange. I mean, these are closed, but still.
2023, bro.
Yeah. It is hard to believe that the owner still spends a few days here each year. It seems his lifelong dream of living in his own castle is so powerful that he risks his health, exposing himself to mold and asbestos. Later in the video, we'll show you the bedroom he occasionally sleeps in. But first, let's step into the grand dining room, just beside the kitchen. His passion for music once filled this room. Vibrant melodies were once played from this beautiful upright piano, crafted by a Swiss piano maker. Though classical music was his first love, his taste extended to classic rock and pop, like the Beatles. An old 16th century sonnet still rests atop the piano, a nod to his eclectic interests. The craftsmanship in this room is remarkable. This carved wooden chair, likely handmade, could be original to the first generation that lived here. And a true centerpiece, a grandfather clock made by a local clockmaker, stands proudly nearby. Just beside it, a small passage leads to another turret, where more books are stored, like a hidden library. His fascination with castles and the medieval era is evident. But the open windows, the flow of air and rain hints that this isn't a castle destined for a fairy tale ending. Again, there is evidence that someone enjoyed these bottles of wine not too long ago. Above the fireplace mantel, we find this large frame with his family name. Stories already suggested he was a composer, but more specifically he seems to have been a pianist and conductor, going by the first name Hans. If he is truly the well-known Hans Graf, this would mean he is not from Switzerland, but in fact from Austria.
Then we are going back to the part where Moreno actually shot the intro, the hallway. But first, we have a chest over here. And actually there are some details on it. So probably the chest itself is quite old.
HS it says.
Wood.
Just wood storage.
That's even worse than finding blankets. Yeah. And then just give another shot without a person in it, but it's a beautiful hallway, man. Sofa, really unique. Damn. Well, alright. Let's first start off with the details over here of this antique piece. Flowers. Pretty unique. And over here, like Moreno said, and like we already said, probably the man does speak German, because there are German. What is this? Yeah, the Bible. Oh, it's the Bible actually, German Bible.
Yeah, but this one actually contains images and illustrations.
Okay, like a modernized version of it. I also really like this, the candles.
Well. And the person you see here is also the person we have on top.
Yeah.
One of the most famous artists from our country.
Yep. This man is very famous from our country. Remnants van Rijn. And actually this piece is from the oldest book dealer. Yeah, literally. Bookstore. Book dealer, it was like back then. But from the oldest bookstore of the Netherlands. So this piece is probably worth some money because it's originally from there. Well, we have again the same chair over there.
Imagine waking up here in the morning, having this incredible view over this giant park that we just described. Nothing around you, only this castle and you, completely isolated.
Well, I'm actually questioning myself, where is this? I cannot see.
It's all written in Latin.
Yeah, Latin or German, honestly.
No, it's Latin.
Okay.
Well, and the other side. of this corridor. Little chandelier.
Portrait.
Actually do like this wallpaper.
Yeah.
Where, again, Mr. Rembrandt van Rijn.
Probably very fascinated with him.
Yeah. Nice China vase over here.
I do actually think this is the place where he's from.
Yeah, maybe.
Schaffhausen.
It is possible.
Yeah.
Seems also like a very historic town.
The Rhine, it's the famous river.
With all the fortification. Yeah, the Rhine in Germany. Yeah. But then, guys, okay, be amazed. For this room, absolutely unbelievable room.
This is the grand room of this castle. Like, wow.
This is unbelievable, bro. How something like this can just stay here unprotected.
Like, this is such a beautiful room.
The details on the ceilings, the carvings. There is a fortune left behind this place.
Well,
Beautiful candle holder.
really unique.
Whoa.
Puppets right over here, decorative.
Yeah, some figurines. Puppet is actually when they have the ropes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, when you can play with them.
Well, and this piece, sadly enough, is broken, so I want
Well,
to
it's
fix it.
just unscrewed, not broken.
Yeah, just leave it. Alright. I'm trying to be a good person, but it was already laying here like this.
Let's leave it for the owner,
Yeah.
if he even cares.
If he really wants to fix it, yeah.
Look at the red velvet drapes over here.
That's actually what really just makes the room so, I don't know, grand, so royal. Table over here, decorations. You can tell people have been in here. Cigarettes, flowers as well.
Maybe even the owner himself.
Yeah, who knows?
Whoa, look at this antique painting. A painted portrait in a
Really?
gilded frame.
Really beautiful, man.
It's incredible. And then still books, tiny busts, and the most incredible thing, this oriental desk over here. Whoa,
What a details.
that is so precious.
Should still be something. Well, glasswork.
Yeah, it looks like it was a liquor cabinet,
Yeah.
at least for the crystal, for the special booze.
Actually, I really like the decay as well. Even, are it shrooms?
Yeah,
Moss?
mushrooms growing
Mushrooms,
there.
right? Growing over there. Yeah, this place is really near to collapse. Yeah. Yeah, bro, and then this piece, like,
Whoa, the Playa grand piano.
holy.
That's unbelievable.
That's really unbelievable.
Oh, wait, you're playing the wrong key. It starts with an E.
Hey, do you really know how to play it? I really want to learn it, man, but...
Not the piano. I can play the saxophone.
Okay. Well,
And I
want,
can read notes.
I want to learn the piano, but of course,
You first need to read notes.
yeah, that's first
Or you have to
thing.
do it from your feeling.
Yeah,
That's also what some people do. Some of the most famous musicians were not even able to read notes, and the composers.
Crazy.
Well, right above me, wonderful chandelier, some nice glass diamonds.
Yeah.
You can see dust marks over here, so probably people have removed items.
Yeah. Replaced or stolen items.
Jais Long over here, covered with a sheet. Whoa.
Some very old books. Wow. Like we say, it's always so cool to find these. And it's all the volumes just still in there.
There are books about the art of calligraphy, there are books about chateaus in Switzerland, and then these ones. 𝗦𝘁cie 𝗿𝘆𝗶𝘆. Not sure what it exactly is. These ones even look like, yeah, they're about the biggest dynasties of Europe.
Crazy. Yeah, well, some reading glasses, probably from him, and I don't know.
Ashtrays maybe next to it.
Yeah.
And a candle holder.
And for books, like you could just sit over here, place the books over there, candle, ashtray, living life.
Drapes just continue everywhere. We have some nice porcelainware over here. Still decorating this grand piano.
Candles also on top of it. Really beautiful. Yeah, a grand piece.
We haven't looked at the mechanism of the piano yet. You can tell it's all quite rusty.
Yeah. If you would want to repair this piece, yeah, it needs some fixation.
Well, and actually we just noted that there is a bird trapped inside the turret there.
So maybe it's gonna stress out?
I don't want to scare it, but I'll just show it like this. There is a spinning wheel, still with the plume, and a little lamp.
Well, walking away from, I would say, the most beautiful room.
The main room of the chateau.
Yeah. It's really beautiful. I don't know, man, that room really got me. And then, let's make our way towards the main hallway.
Whoa. The decline is very advanced there.
Yeah. Like, honestly, this chateau, I don't know, man, like, it can really come down one day and like really come down, you know?
But at the same time, if we look now to this main hallway downstairs, it's so magical.
It's really magical, and that's just a sad thing, like, just the imagination that this can really just collapse at any near moment. Give it a couple more winters and then it's really over. Yeah, it's really sad.
Unbelievable. These probably used to be other parts that were standing in front of the fireplaces. Well, we'll show you this main hallway in a little bit because we have one other corner over here. Another beautiful room, but in such a state of disrepair again. Massive cracks. Another piano.
Yeah.
3 pianos in total in this place, and this is a pliable piano again.
I think this one is in a good condition.
Yeah, that assumption was right.
Yep.
So many frames over here. And again, burning wood in this chest.
Well, then we have another marble fireplace, the net in front. And again, the beautiful details on this mirror. And as well, down there at the fireplace.
Curtains are even falling down over here. Crazy. It's all still stuffed. Nice bottle holder over here for wine. My gosh. What a DK. Black mold as well. You cannot imagine that the building is in such a state and the Swiss owner still spends the night here, cooks in here, drinks wine, maybe has a smoke. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, it's really bizarre to think of that.
Okay, it's time to show you the main hallway in more detail. We have a model ship, and over here, actually, this was from the son of the Swiss owner, and they actually organized events for old-timers of luxury cars.
Yeah, well, that was a Rolls Royce you just saw, and there was also a Ferrari. That's actually quite crazy.
So we think they are quite wealthy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can organize events like that, then you probably have a decent amount of money.
And probably also one of these old-timers or luxury cars yourself.
Grandfather's clock again. This frame.
The 𝗦𝘁cie𝗿𝗆𝗆. Actually 2 grandfather clocks.
Exact same pieces. And also over here. But like, is this real gold then?
I don't know, maybe 10, I don't know. Whoa, look at the embroidery.
Yeah, really unique, right?
It is.
Don't know why the knife is randomly laying over there.
Yeah, knife blades. Curtains. Another clock, 3 clocks
Yeah.
in one hallway.
Well,
Like,
4.
what's the purpose? Yeah, there is another one there too. What's the purpose? Well, what would actually have been cool if this door is closed. Like you can tell,
That it was just one piece over here.
just continues with the wall pattern,
Yeah.
nicely obscured. And this is actually connecting with where we came upstairs from the basement.
So, then now it's time to go upstairs. And again, we have these drapes. And actually,
Now let's leave it, bro.
yeah, but it's cool. You can close them off like this.
Yeah, of course.
Really unique.
Reason why I said let's leave them is because they've always been the same on every picture.
Yeah.
Just like to preserve it. But yeah, that would have been nice back in the day for some privacy, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And also to keep the heat in this part.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, a beautiful stairway again. Some portraits. Oh, portraits.
Just frames.
Frames, exactly.
Historical events. Actually, this floor is going to be more decades. The next floor is going to be even more decades.
Did you know that there was a door over there?
I think it's another turret.
What is left of it, at least?
Whoa. You made a good point there. What's left of it, at least.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, now you can really tell that this repair and decay inside of this place. Alright, man.
Another clog again. This one's actually different.
Wait.
Nah, let's leave it. We're
Yeah.
gonna damage it.
The inside is also quite unique. Alright, close it up.
Well, there is 2 more floors actually. So this is not even gonna be the last floor we see. There is again a spinning wheel, and look at this. The window frames are almost just falling out.
And then there in the corner is this thing for a light or for an alarm?
Oh, that's a motion sensor.
Motion sensor, right? Yeah, I know, but...
From back in the day.
It's crazy, man. Well, there was another room over there. Was.
Whoa.
It's completely collapsed, like completely.
Yeah, the for sale sign, I've seen it. They even hung it inside, so maybe even urbexer comes. It will be like, oh yeah, I want to buy it.
Oh yeah, well.
Little sink in here.
Alright, well then is the question, what do the people think that it's for sale for? Like, I'm curious what the people will say.
Just leave it down in the comment section. And 1 week after this video is released, we will give you the answer in the comments. And maybe somebody is even willing to invest in it.
Yeah, need some
But
big investments, but...
It would definitely require a huge major investment. But if you're willing to make that and can miss the money, I think the owner will be very happy with you.
And the property, I mean...
The history will be preserved. That's for me even the most important part, because I have a feeling the owner is already rich. So maybe there is also space to negotiate. There is literally vegetation growing inside and mushrooms again in that corner.
Wow.
This one is beautiful. Livery stable.
Really unique.
Even wallpaper inside the drawers.
Well, have a look over here.
Whoa. Okay. Looks like they were doing some construction over here.
At least they made a start of it.
Whoa. That's a cool barometer.
Yeah.
With a kettle, it used to be fireplace.
And also, this over here, it's very cool.
Seems they were definitely interested in the seafair. France.
Frankreich.
Still the coffee that they probably drank while doing some construction over here.
Probably. Yeah, they were doing some constructions over here, you can tell.
Another one of the turrets. Copper pan still here.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, they were big fans of exclusive cars. The Rolls-Royce story. All the way to 1962.
1970.
Oh, 1970, yeah, you're right. Use this repair. Beautiful marble fireplace again. And I really like this mirror over here.
Wow. Yeah, that's precious. Okay. Another door. Another passage. Oh, another bedroom. This could very well be the bed where he sometimes still sleeps.
Yeah. Well, actually I don't hope so for him.
There is plenty of black mold in here.
That's why.
Just briefly gonna show it to you.
Yeah, because you can really smell it in here. What is in there?
Yeah, nothing special.
Alright, Mo.
Another clock. There are so many clocks in this place.
Crazy, right?
Have we ever found so many clocks in one chateau? I think he really had a big love for clocks.
He definitely had, like... Well, alright. Let's go out of here. Okay, I'm curious. We have sheets, blankets, typically.
Yeah, some bed linen and towels. We already had a look there.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Let's continue through here.
Get a bit disorientated, because it's quite a big property actually.
There are so many doors, so many passages and rooms, and wow. Yet another one. I think this was the master bedroom.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Super decayed.
Can you imagine sleeping in here? Like...
No, not in a decayed place like this. Wonderful tapestry. CDs of opera music. Water is just dripping over here from the damaged ceiling. That's because the roof is in really an incredibly bad shape. It's even dripping on this wonderful secretary's desk.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm a bit speechless again. Like this property is actually in such a big disrepair.
Well, one cool thing, besides the bed, there is another hidden door.
Oh yeah.
That leads to another turret. I think it's not even possible to open it up anymore. But yeah, it does lead to a turret and nobody's been in it for years, bro.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's so many cobwebs.
Yeah, I saw that. That's actually crazy. Well, we have the design of the bed right over there. And I really actually like the bed. It's really beautiful.
Very French style.
Yeah, it really is.
And also this corner with all the green seats.
It's crazy, man.
I also do like the nightstand with this marble plate on top. Unreal, right?
Really unreal.
Everything is just littered by debris.
What?
No way. I already thought, what do I hear?
Yeah, me too. Like I was silenced again.
The
because I was
clock
like,
is
what do
still
I hear?
ticking.
But it's not correct anymore, but it's still ticking. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, actually,
Well,
it's-
that's maybe replace the batteries then.
no, it's just a different time zone.
Yeah, the summertime, but I mean, normally that would not be possible if you haven't replaced the batteries. So maybe this is the bedroom he still sleeps in.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like this gives us the answer then, bro. I mean,
Imagine walking in a decayed room like this and somebody's literally laying there, and it's not a homeless person. No, it's the owner.
it's the owner. No. That's I cannot even imagine that. Like
That's
and-
maybe also why the window is wide open, so it circulates with air and it's not like accumulating with dust when he wants to sleep here.
Bro, that's actually so freaking crazy. Like,
It is. It's bizarre, like we said. I think the rumors are true. Like, people really were in here exploring. They found that man sleeping in one of the rooms, and now we know what room most likely is that room. Shower built in there. And more decay. This probably was a bedroom at once.
But no, it's definitely not. Water leakage. Huge water leakage actually.
Another tiny kitchen attached to here. That's unique.
Oh, that's cool.
One more door over here. It's the toilets. Well, probably also still used by the man. It's a place with a strange backstory if it comes to its current state and the ownership.
Yeah, really strange, right? I'm constantly in my head with it like, damn. I mean, that's so bad for your health. Crazy.
Some more drapes. This is not even the final floor yet. But it's mostly gonna be storage in here. So we're just gonna walk through the rooms. We don't expect to find anything of particular interest here.
Not really. It's mainly storage.
Well, this might be cool to see. Because we think back in its heyday, this was actually one of the servant bedrooms.
Yeah, definitely was.
Bed's still there.
Always in the upper floor.
Still a part of a clock over there.
We should really be careful over here.
Whoa, what's this over here?
Damn.
Part of another, maybe very old servant bedroom, but...
What is it holding?
Huh?
I think it's just holding the building, right?
I think part of the roof, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, damn. That's really tight, actually.
It has to be, because there's a lot of weight. It has to withstand from falling.
Yeah, water.
You were really interested in
Yeah,
seafaring things.
seafair, exactly. You can really tell, like the history of this place has probably something to do from dating back that time, like French Revolution, Révolution.
Well, it was after the French Revolution constructed.
Okay.
1860.
But alright, after French Revolution, but still in time's period where there are a lot of sea travels.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of trading was done overseas for goods, business.
Yeah, this is the part that is holding.
Oh yeah, from here we can see it. It's crazy. Whoa.
It's really crazy, man. Well, and then this is a really cool thing to end off this floor with.
Hopefully not end in a concluding way. Crazy. Completely collapsed. How devastating.
Well, Mo, last floor.
It's time for the final floor.
And I would say, I think this, I'm gonna put off my mask again. That's where everything is just misleading from, and all the disrepair and decay is really coming from the roof.
Look at the condition of the roof. You can hear the wind.
Yeah, this is so strange that it's located over here.
Yeah, a swing right over here.
Yeah.
Why oh why? think the owner is definitely having some fun here from time to time.
Yeah. I mean, just enjoying the last bits.
There are so many holes in this roof. Even a miracle that we can still walk on this final attic.
Well, alright, then we should not walk over there. But I'm really curious, as there is a stairway going up here, and I might try it.
You sure? Oh, there is, yeah.
Damn.
What the heck?
What is this?
Be careful, bro.
Yeah, I am. Damn.
This still feels kind of sturdy, but...
Damn.
Oh my gosh, where are we going to right now? We haven't seen this part yet, so this is really unplanned.
Oh, fuck.
No freaking way. What's going on?
It's the... Damn. It's the roof.
Can you open it?
Yeah, but you're really on top of the castle. But, bro. Wow. Alright. What a view. What a view. Yeah, alright. Alright, man. Yeah, it's difficult to walk up here, but damn.
Oh my god.
Wait. There is a man walking there.
A man?
Yeah.
Where?
With the orange vest. There.
In this park?
In
this garden?
Yeah, I think so.
At this very moment, we tried to get outside of the castle as soon as we could. And this might belong to the top 10 most random moments while we explored. Because when we came in the garden, this huge park, there was literally a giant circle of 20 hunters at a distance around us. It was super strange, but however they didn't seem to bother. We were still scared, we left and got inside our car as soon as we could. Okay, so we just escaped.
Yeah.
Well, we were literally surrounded by this kind of clan. It almost looked like over 20 hunters.
Like honestly, over 20 hunters. Like, so sorry.
In bright orange vests.
Yeah. So sorry if like the outro was very dramatic and very quick, but like what I saw was real, and he was literally walking on a train off the chateau, and you know we've been talking about this owner, the man living here, and yeah, you know it's like he still lived here. So we instantly thought like, yeah, that's him. Like we saw one guy first, and then we walk outside,
and then we were like,
bro, there is another one, and,
all around the property.
And then we walk outside, and they are literally all around this property, like all over the property. So right now we are going to show you.
Yeah, we're gonna see him. You can window open if you want.
Yeah, all right. So I'm
not sure if we can see him.
Yeah, there he is.
That's one.
That's one of them. And then right now we are going to drive back, and there we have two just standing there.
It's
He's also
freaking
just
crazy.
waiting there. You can see him. That's two.
And they're also all in the garden, you know, like
It's freaking crazy, man. He's just holding the hunter gun. Of course, so we were scared as hell. We were thinking like, bro, we are locked in. Like you know, we've heard crazy stories of people before that they got, you know, like we've heard stories about people that got shot at an abandoned castle. So we were like, yeah, right, this is a clan. This is just like, hey, they saw our car and they are like, yeah, there's a Dutch car, there are people again, let's go. But no, they were just hunting in the forest. We could have finished it off, but of course, yeah, right now, yeah, we finished off the video. We had some other things to do, but yeah, we were like, all right, let's get out, otherwise they think we're an animal or something and they shoot us. Like,
yeah. No, we were extremely cautious, but we made it out. Looking back at the drone footage that I took during the first visit 2 years ago, it seemed that in this huge park there were also other sheds that we didn't even got to check out yet because we needed to escape the second time. So yeah, I might as well go back a third time. But this one I was not accompanied by Raymond but by some other friends. And if you already thought you saw one of the most beautiful abandoned castles that you've ever seen on YouTube or anywhere, wait until you find out what else I discovered. So the last time we were here, you've seen we were surrounded by hunters. I'm actually back right now, 2 months later. And yeah, we couldn't make our cinematic shots the last time, so I've also done that right now. But yeah, there was a little bit more degradation and a little bit more vandalism, unfortunately. But still, you could tell on the cinematic shots it was quite pristine. But hence why that there is maybe a little bit of difference when we did the tour and you saw the cinematics. Now finally I can explore the garden, as you can tell. A huge park, statue even over there. Tractor. And look over here in this trailer. There's still a carriage. Wow. Alright. Let's have a peek inside. Oh, there is another one. Oh, look at these carriages. It's quite narrow in here. Oh, look at this. Oh my lord. Check this out. Wow, that's so elegant from the inside. Oh, what a precious carriage. Also look at the ceiling. I would really feel like the king driving around in this thing. Probably over here was even like an ashtray or something for cigars. Wow. The lights at the back, at each side. Wow. That's incredible. There is another barn right over there. Gonna check it out right now, and I believe there's gonna be more carriages. So let's check that out lastly. So that is the other barn, I assume. We've also found a photo album and you could see horses just walking around there. The hay would actually come from the lands in this entire park. So sad this property is so neglected and will probably end up in ruins. Another statue here, but let's take a peek in the barn. Curious. Really doesn't look like this still holds anything, but there is only one way to find out. Sun's coming out for a bit. Let's take a quick peek through here maybe. It is an entrance. Maybe there is an easier entrance, but just going in here. Oh, no way. Guys, no freaking way. Okay, we are in the shed. I mean, there is still a furnace, but check out what's about to follow right now. Wow. Plenty of carriages over here, way more. Even a chest on the back of this one. Wow, that is amazing. The other floor is in a very bad shape. I'm not going up there. There's even a giant horse statue over there. But it does seem that the most elegant carriage was in a trailer. And they probably had high hopes saving it and want to move it. Yet this one is also special, very different. Look at the embroidery pattern. Inside leather seats with the same embroidery pattern. Wow. So precious. All the details for just a transport vehicle. And just like the horse statue, it would have been driven by 1, 2, 3 horses, who knows? Selfie time. Alright, well, I think that is it. There is also still this old uniform, by the way, hanging on the carriage. But yeah, we've already actually done this, the outro, on top of that roof, until we saw the hunters and we needed to run away. I'll keep it short. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. Check out our channel memberships and Patreon support. And yeah, we'll see you on the next adventure again, guys. Peace out.